Welcome back to our second session of Dentistry Merit Badge. Hope you all have done well since you saw the first session. Now that we've talked about all the things that can harm our teeth, the things that are detrimental to our teeth, we're going to talk about how to prevent all of that bad stuff from happening. The things that we can do to take care of our teeth and our gums and our mouth and our health in general. So preventing tooth decay. What do you think's the main thing to do? Brush well. I talked about brushing before. Of course, there are two types of brushes. There's the manual toothbrush. There is the electric toothbrush. This is one kind. This is an Oral-B. There are several kinds of electric toothbrushes out there that are very good. This is my personal favorite. This is the one my office uses and wants our patients to use. Basically, brushing, like I said, should require take about 3 minutes. 1.5 minutes is just not enough brushing. But the key is to control the plaque. Now, I've had patients tell me, but I brush 5 times a day and my teeth still don't feel clean. It's not how many times you brush that's important. It's how long you brush when you do. I have patients who can brush twice a day, once in the morning, once at night before bed, and do an immaculate job of keeping their teeth clean. They brush long enough. They know how to take time and be thorough. So, just a small demonstration of brushing. I brush the chewing surfaces first on all quadrants, all 4 quadrants. That's just my plan. And then I pick a pattern and stick with it. Brushing like this and up and down and all around, you're going to miss something. So, start in the back, right or left, doesn't matter, with the bristles angled about 45 degrees right at the gum line, and do little circles. So you're only brushing about 2 teeth at a time. Little circles. And then move to the next 2 teeth. Again, little circles. You can roll the brush down if you like. That always feels good. But the main thing is taking your time, little circles, all the way around the outside, and then back around the inside doing the same thing. Brushing these teeth here with just the tip end of your brush. Then you're going to do the bottom ones the same way. Little circles, right down at the gum line, not using a lot of pressure. You don't have to use a lot of pressure. When you see people with a lot of gum recession, where their gums have exposed a lot of their roots, they're probably brushing way too hard, and the gums cannot handle that trauma. So you're brushing all the way around the outside, again, back to the inside. Brush behind here. Take a little extra time on the back of those bottom teeth. They really need it. And that should take you about 3 minutes if you've done it right. Now, with a power brush, a little bit different. With this brush is spinning anywhere from 880 to up to 8,000 revolutions per minute. Now, some oscillate, some spin. But the point is, it's moving faster than your hand can. And so you are rolling that brush back and forth, 1 tooth at a time, just like this. It's doing all the work for you. You don't have to move it so much. You just roll it back and forth, 1 tooth at a time, all the way around, again, around the outside, back around the inside. Of course, the chewing surfaces you do. Then you come to the bottom and you do the same thing, rolling it back and forth around each tooth. Again, about 3 minutes worth of brushing. You'll be amazed how wonderful that'll make your teeth feel. Now, toothpaste is something, toothpaste has fluoride in it, which we will discuss fluoride in a few minutes, but it's good to use a toothpaste that has fluoride. It has a very small amount of fluoride in it. Now, flossing. If there's one thing I have a hard time getting patients to do is floss. And flossing is really simple to do, especially now that you have the little plackers and floss picks and things like that you can use that are easier to hold on to. But you wrap the floss around your fingers. I use index fingers, and maneuver it between all your teeth, every one of them, first to one side and then to the other of the space, and that cleans in between your teeth. This is super important. When I see patients that have begun to get periodontal disease or gum disease, it always starts in between their teeth. They might be the best brusher in the world, but they're not flossing. So That is super important, super important. Fluoride was discovered many years ago, actually in America, in West Texas. There was a community there that the people, I don't say the patients, but all the people had really hard teeth. Nobody had any cavities, but their teeth were very mottled looking in color. They were gray and brown and white. They weren't a consistent color. So they did a little investigating, and they found that the water there, the table water, because they all had wells. This was a long time ago, so they all used well water. It was super fluoridated. It had naturally occurring fluoride, and that caused fluorosis, which was the mottling of the teeth. But boy, did those people have hard teeth. So through research and through experimentation over the years, in the early 1950s, about 1953, 54, cities started fluoridating their water with very minute amounts of fluoride, very minute amounts, just enough that you can see a difference. You saw my x-ray in our last session, and I had several fillings. Well, I was born right before fluoridation came into being in many municipal water systems. I have two sisters who were born right after, a couple of years after fluoridation became a commonplace thing, and they have no cavities. I was just born too soon. So, if fluoride is enough in the body, if there's enough fluoride from drinking water and ingesting, that when your teeth are forming, such as when babies are before they're born and as they're growing, if there's fluoride in their water that their formula is made with, then their teeth come in and they're much, much stronger. We still to this day will see babies who don't have fluoridated vitamins. If they have well water and they don't take fluoridated vitamins, their teeth are not as strong. We do see that. Erupted teeth. Now, can our teeth that we have now, as we have our permanent teeth, can fluoride in the water help us? Not as much. We need topical fluoride. We need the fluoride that puts on our teeth with toothpaste, with fluoride treatments at the dental office. So any toothpaste you see you have that has that ADA seal of approval, it has fluoride. That's what helps us the most as far as fluoride goes. Now, as far as another preventive measure, if you can't always brush your teeth, eating healthy snacks helps. We talked about earlier about the bad snacks, cakes and pies and cookies and all that, but there are good snacks that naturally clean your teeth. Things like carrots and apples and nuts that have no refined sugar in them. And so the hard surfaces of those things, celery, they naturally clean your teeth. So they're a good help. They're a good snack. They're a healthy snack to have. So that's some ways that you can keep your teeth healthy. And hopefully the only visits you'll have to make to the dental office are for your teeth cleanings. Now, some of you may be at the age where you have braces on your teeth. And braces present a whole new set of problems as far as brushing. It takes a little more effort to get above those brackets and below the brackets. Here's a picture of looks like a young man brushing around his braces. That takes a little more effort. Sometimes those brackets sit very close to the gum tissue, so you have to get below them. So what happens a lot of times when a young person has braces, does not brush well, and when those braces come off after a year and a half or 2 years, what we see are white decalcified areas on the teeth, where above and below the brackets where the plaque has been allowed to stay. We'll see those what we call tiger stripes sometimes. They don't go away. Once they're there, they're there. And what that is, that's an area where the plaque has stayed too long. It has weakened the enamel on the tooth, and it's changed color. You don't want that to happen. You want your teeth, when the braces come off, you want them to not only be straight, but you want them to be nice and pretty like they were before. So, moving along to our next, and while I'm looking for this other next place for us to go, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and ask me those questions. because I would be happy to answer them. All right. Excuse me. Now let's talk about traumatic tooth loss. This is something that doesn't have anything to do with sugar and decay and everything like that. This is traumatic tooth loss. Some of you may be in sports and football, basketball, things like that, hockey, and you have to wear a mouth guard to protect your teeth. Teeth can get knocked out. You can get elbowed in a basketball game. You know, if you're not wearing a helmet with a face guard, you can get hit in the face. So there's things happen. Your teeth get knocked out. So sometimes they just get broken. Teeth get broken, head to your dentist. If a tooth gets hit hard enough to move it within the socket, it can disrupt the blood supply. And eventually that tooth may die. It may, because it's lost its blood supply, things may happen. Sometimes that tooth will get knocked completely out. So what do you do if a tooth knocks completely out and there it is laying on the ground? First of all, pick it up by the crown of the tooth. You remember the crown is the part of the tooth that we can see. So that's the part with the enamel on it. Clean it off as best you can with running water. Try not to touch the root surface. Do not touch the root surface. If you have some milk handy, putting it in milk and washing it with that is good. That preserves the enzymes. Or if you can get to a dentist right away, just put the tooth back in your mouth, under your tongue and your cheek, and get to the dentist. Just don't swallow the tooth. But that is a good way to keep the tooth alive, basically, till you can get to the dentist. Along with sports, there's just, horsing around, jumping off of a swing set, climbing a tree and falling out. Car crashes. Car crashes are notorious for breaking out teeth. So there's a lot of ways that, teeth can be lost. Another thing that can affect that, it's kind of popular today for some people to wear, young people, to wear lip and tongue jewelry, metal. That's very damaging to the teeth. It can break the teeth, chip the teeth, and it can cause gum recession. It's very bad for your gums. Another sense of trauma that you can have on your teeth is what we call bruxism, or grinding your teeth. You may hear a little brother or sister grinding their teeth at night. Little kids tend to do it a lot. Some adults do it. We have a lot of adults that grind their teeth. Typically, it's as a result of stress. But when you're grinding your teeth and you're wearing that enamel against enamel, it will wear down, and you don't get that enamel back. Remember, so bruxism is not a good thing for your teeth. So with all of these things, there is the one thing that can help out, and that's a mouth guard. You may be familiar with sports mouth guards that you can either buy over the counter. You put them in hot water and make them soft, and then put them in your mouth and bite on it, form it around your teeth. There are those. And then the dentist can also make you a custom mouth guard, which are really better. They fit better. So if you have to have a mouth guard, I would really suggest you get one made at the dentist. We talked about teeth that came out. I wanted to show you, this is a model, someone's teeth. This is a lower model. This is an upper one. Some of you may be familiar with having impressions made where they put some gooey stuff in a tray and put it in your mouth and it's all mushy and gooey. Nowadays, we can use a digital camera and take digital impressions of the teeth, of the mouth. We send that to a lab, and they use a laser printer to print your models. This is a model that was poured in plaster, poured in stone. Some teeth. I wanted to show you this to show you some implants, but that's what the old ones look like. And we still have to use that for some things. But nowadays, more often than not, we do the digital impressions and we do laser printed models, which I think is just awesome. Just awesome. Okay, looking back at your requirements for this merit badge. Requirement three, arrange for a visit with your dentist, which you obviously cannot do right now, but when all this mess is over with the virus, hopefully you can. You may already have a cleaning appointment scheduled that you can go and talk to the dentist about the things that this requires. If you don't have the merit badge book, if you go for a cleaning, you will have a dental examination. Ask questions about the things you want to know, such as what is the purpose of some of the equipment they use. What is the purpose of some of the equipment they use? How does it work? Things like that. Now, I brought home with me from my office some of my instruments to show you. This is a mirror. This is an angled mirror we use so we can see in the back of the mouth, see around corners and stuff. So this is a mirror. This is one type of explorer. This is what we use to check the teeth, checking for decay. It has a periodontal probe on the end of it. We use this probe to measure bone loss. If a person has gum disease, periodontal disease, we use that to measure so we can track if it's progressing or if it's getting better. That's an explorer. This is a scaler. This is used to clean your teeth. This is just one. This is used to clean back teeth. This one, used to clean front teeth. They're shaped different, they're angled different, so they're all kind of different. Now this is the periodontal probe that I like to use. It's plastic. It has colored markings on it. Much easier to read. Much easier to read. This might be a little toothpaste we might use with our polishers to polish your teeth. All right. Now, I'm assuming and hoping that each and every one of you has already been to the dentist at least once, probably more times, but I went to the office yesterday and took some pictures. Does anybody recognize this? This is the x-ray tube head. This is what we take x-rays with. And that's something we've not talked about in this. None of the requirements actually mentioned x-rays, but dental x-rays are really safe, very safe to have taken. The film that they use, if your office still uses regular film, is very, very fast, takes very low radiation, and very quick. Most offices now are using digital x-rays, which is even faster and uses even less radiation. But we still use a lead shield with a thyroid collar to protect your thyroid. Now these look different in just about every office, but this is our bracket table for our hand pieces, our prophy angles, things like that, air and water syringe. Everything kind of hangs on that. This is the bright light we use to blind you with so we can see your teeth. Got to have that. And the good old dreaded dental chair. So I'm sure you've all sat in that once or twice. There are many other things. Of course, we use computers now. Most offices use computers. We're getting away from paper charts. Let's see. In your requirements, name at least do 2 of the following. Name at least 5 instruments and 5 pieces of equipment a dentist uses. I just showed you some of those. Or, with the help of a dentist, prepare a dental stone cast using a vibrator. That might be a little difficult to get done. Or this one is easier. Keep a record of everything you eat for 3 days. Not hard to do, especially now that you're home. Can't go anywhere anyway. Circle the items that may provide the sugars that bacterial plaque needs to make acid. We talked about that in our last session. List the snacks that you should avoid to help maintain the best oral health. And while you're at it, maybe go ahead and list some snacks that are good to eat, some snacks that you have eaten that are good. Requirement number 5, discuss with your merit badge counselor how fluorides help prevent tooth decay and the ways fluorides can be provided to the teeth. That can be part of a report that you type to me and just discuss those things. And how the mouth is related to the rest of the body. We talked about chewing your food so that you can swallow it easier. Your body produces enzymes, produces mucus actually that helps your food go down your throat. How does your teeth how do your teeth affect your speech? Have you ever known anybody who had missing teeth that had a hard time talking? And the fact if you have missing teeth, especially on the side here, your cheeks tend to lose muscle tone and they start to sink in. Makes you look older. Don't want to lose any teeth. Number 6, do 2 of the following. Make a model tooth out of soap, clay, paper mache, or wax. Use a string and a large hand brush. Show your troop or your class proper toothbrushing and flossing. That one may be a little difficult since we can't meet right now. Here's one you could do. Make a poster on the prevention of dental disease. Show the importance of good health. That would be an easy one to do. And then this one would be a good one to do while you're home. Collect at least 5 advertisements for different toothpastes. List the claims that each one makes and tell about the accuracy of their advertisements. All right. Write a feature story for your school newspaper. That one may be a little hard to do. Here's one you can do. Make drawings and write about the progress of dental decay. Excuse me. I showed you pictures earlier, and you can also Google those. Look up pictures of dental decay and how it affects the tooth, what it does to the tooth. Describe the types of dental fillings that we use. And that's something we didn't discuss a lot early on, talking about taking care of decay. For years, we've used a process called you clean the decay out of a tooth and you fill it with an amalgam. An amalgam means it's a conglomeration of different metals. Amalgam that we use, it has silver, nickel, and mercury in it. And the mercury makes it pliable so that it's kind of like a putty. And when you mix everything together, you pack it into the filling, into the cavity, and it hardens, and it's there. Those fillings are held in with what we call a mechanical lock. When the dentist preps the tooth and he cuts all the bad part out, he fixes it, he preps it so that when you put that silver filling in, that amalgam filling in, it's locked in. Okay, we're getting away from a lot of those fillings now, and we're using acrylics, glass ionomers. They have improved those so much over the last 20 years that now, where we used to only be able to use those filling materials in the front of the mouth, where there were not a lot of biting forces, now we can use those materials in the back, where we used to put silver, because they are very hard and very strong now. And they're tooth-colored materials, so they don't look bad. You can't even see them once you get them in the mouth. Those are held in the tooth by a chemical bond. They actually bond to the dentin of the tooth, which makes it a great filling material. They last a long time. Those types of glass ionomers now last almost as long as the silver fillings do, if not longer. Another restoration that we don't do as often because it is so expensive is gold. You can actually have the gold, take an impression and have a gold cast put into the tooth. So you can also have an acrylic, porcelain made on a machine that will actually mill a filling that will fit right in the tooth where it's been prepped. So the options are endless with repairing teeth that have had decay. We also have, for teeth that can't be filled, there's not enough, maybe it's a back tooth, and there's so much decay that you can't fill it because the outer wall of the tooth is too thin, then you can reduce the size of the tooth and have a crown done. A crown fits over the tooth and completely covers it and protects it, and they last for a long time. We do a lot of just acrylic. We've done gold alloy filling, crowns, porcelain baked onto gold, and then porcelain, just all porcelain crowns. Now that's the going thing right now, is all porcelain crowns. What if you have missing teeth? Maybe you have just one missing tooth. Say you broke a tooth and it couldn't be saved and you had to have it taken out. We do implants now, though there's several ways you can repair that. When my missing tooth that I have that was congenitally missing, they weren't doing implants back then. That was a long time ago. So I have a bridge, which is fine. But we do implants now in those single spaces that work wonderful. This is a person where we have 5 implants. They were missing a lot of teeth. Now, these are just impression posts, so that's not what the implant actually looks like, but the implant will be down in the bone. It is put down into the bone. A little healing cap is put on it, and it's left there, left static for 3 months, 12 weeks. And after it has sat there, the bone has grown to the implant. It has integrated itself around the implant. Then you take off the healing cap, you put another piece in, an abutment, and make a crown to sit right on top of that. You never know it's there. It's a beautiful restoration. They're really, really wonderful. So I have covered, last thing, career opportunities. I think we will stop right there with this session. I don't want to go too long and bore you to death, but we will come back for one more short session to finish up this merit badge, and by then I should have received some reports from you, some drawings maybe, and hopefully some questions. So until I see you again, thank you.